What's up, people? Strategist14 here, checking in. And yeah, man, wanted to make a quick video talking about modern gaming. I know there's tons and tons of videos here on YouTube discussing modern gaming and what the problems it has. It's many problems it has. But I kind of wanted to give my take on the modern gaming aspect. The modern gaming sucks aspect. So people are either on one side of the fence or the other side. Some people either think modern gaming is great. There's nothing but good games that come out. All the games that come out are fantastic. We get more high quality titles than we have in the past. And then some people are on the other side where they just say every AAA game that comes out is trash. Modern games are doomed. Modern games are garbage. So on and so forth. Now, me personally, I'm kind of in the middle. I'm sitting on the fence. I'm sitting on the fence, leaning over to kind of decide that modern games suck, but not really. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of somewhat in between in a way. I think that a lot of the people who tend to say that modern games suck are people who play more so your AAA mainstream titles. You know, your games that kind of everybody talks and buzzes about. You know, your God of War, your Last of Us. Your AAA games, Call of Duty and whatnot. People who tend to kind of stay in these corners of gaming, in those corners, who don't really branch out and play other kinds of games, I think those are the people who tend to feel that way about gaming as a whole today. And that's not to say that those people should force themselves to play games that they're not otherwise interested in, but it should be an indicator that, hey, maybe you should try out something different instead of what you always are used to playing. That's what I did during the 8th generation, last generation on the PS4. When I wasn't enjoying AAA games, I was playing my niche games, my Atelier Sophies, my Zero Escapes Virtue's Last Rewards, my Danganronpas, my Tales of games, my Yakuza games. Those were the games that I was really enjoying, and on the PlayStation 4 when I was playing it last generation, those are the games that I really enjoyed the most out of most of the other AAA stuff I played. You know, your PlayStation exclusive, Sony movie, third-person shooter game. Most of those games, when I played them on the PlayStation, I didn't really care for them. I didn't really enjoy them. I thought they were just average. Most of Sony's exclusives, I think, are average. I liked Sony more so back on the PlayStation 3 and the PS2 and the PS1. That was more of the Sony I enjoyed. Once we got to the PS4 generation and they just kind of like made everything like The Last of Us, I kind of just I wasn't feeling them as much. But I mean, they still make good games, but I don't really care about Sony as much as I used to, or PlayStation as much as I used to back in, during the PS3 era. But I say all that to say there is still amazing games that come out, even despite the fact that modern games are indeed, and I do agree, indeed a train wreck. It's so bad nowadays that a lot of games that come out, you really shouldn't be buying them day one. Like, a lot of these games are not even worth buying day one. One of the reasons why I think that is because games nowadays are launching more incomplete and more broken than ever before. Especially if you're playing on PC, which I primarily play on. I've pretty much, like I've said before, I don't know if I've said it before on this channel, but I've pretty much moved on from gaming on consoles almost entirely. But I'm not too sure yet, because there might still be a reason to own a PS5 or Series S for my backwards compatible collection. Or games that, older games I cannot play on my my PC or whatnot through emulation. That is still kind of an incentive, but it's not strong enough for me to want to go out and spend $500, $600 on consoles that I would otherwise not be interested in. I don't care about consoles whatsoever. But my thing is that despite the fact that games are $70, we're getting less and less innovative and unique titles these days, and it's very strange to me that something like Forspoken can come out and be $70 and just really be kind of an okay game. Now, I personally like Forspoken. I'm almost 15 hours into the game. I'm up to chapter 7. I have not beaten the game yet, but I like Forspoken. But it is a really rough game in a lot of areas. Like, for example, its PC performance is absolutely terrible. It's atrocious. You got people with 4080s and 4090s who their system is just buckling under this game, which is ridiculous. It just shows how bad of a technical thing. Well, I don't know, whatever the fuck. It just shows how bad of a technical product Forspoken is. You know what I'm saying? So it really doesn't make any sense at this point to go and buy games for $70, and we're getting games that run like shit. We're getting games like, Callisto Protocol, which again is another game I actually enjoyed. I liked. But the fact that there was so much design flaws in that game that was just like, why is this even in the game? And then, it's like people who wait for a sale who get it for $30. They get all these patches and quality of life improvements. The game is running better. And then we're going and buying the game day one. I'm buying the game day one, and I'm getting a shitty running version, 20 frames per second. Like, what? On a 3070? That's insane. You know what I'm saying? And it's asinine that these days you pay $70, you think you're gonna get a finished and polished product. No, yeah, you're not gonna get a finished and polished product. You're gonna get a mediocre product. You're gonna get a product that's gonna take patches upon patches upon patches to fix. And even moving on from that, modern games feel really homogenized. They feel really samey. They feel really safe. They feel really just okay, average. I mean, I'm just looking at the Callisto Protocol and Forspoken, for example. Two games like that, especially Callisto Protocol, that I actually like. Being new IPs. The fact that new IPs are coming out and are critically, and even by gamers' standards, are considered to be mixed, are just average, are okay, and they're not really pushing the bar, or pushing the envelope in what they can do, is a problem. And the fact that remakes, I'm more excited these days for freaking remakes than new games. That's insane, right? I'm more excited for remakes of old games that's over 15 years old, a decade plus years old. Resident Evil 4, Dead Space. You understand? Games like this. I'm more excited for these old games being remade than new games coming out in 2023, 2022, whatever. You understand what I'm saying? And that is a problem. So that's another thing I feel when it comes to modern gaming, that I've noticed a lot of the games I played, even the best games that people would say, like some of the best stuff you can play, some of the highest quality games, highest rated games, people say, it just feels so average, so regular. I'm not gonna mention any names because people might get mad, but it's just like, damn, these games are just so regular. They don't even push the envelope as far as what you can do with the game. I mean, graphically and cinematically, yes, they do that, but It's like gameplay wise, we're still playing games that's based off of Resident Evil 4. Like, where's the new innovation in game design? You understand what I'm saying? Like, where are the different and unique ways to play games? We used to get that during the PS2 and the PS3, the PS1 eras, so 5th, 6th, and 7th gen. And it's like, after we got to the 8th generation, people just stopped having creative ideas and making games. And, you know, all we have now is a bunch of games that play the same as each other, you know? And last but not least, probably something that maybe younger gamers are not gonna notice. I'm 26. I'm not that old. I guess I'm technically a millennial. I'm like in the middle between millennial and Gen Z, technically. So I don't know where I really, which part I really am. I think I'm more subscribed to Gen Z, to be honest. But anyway, growing up, if I don't know if you guys have noticed, maybe you guys whoever's watching my channel might be too young to remember this. Maybe you might be haven't gotten to gaming. Maybe got into gaming just recently. But video games used to be a lot more challenging. They used to be a lot harder. They used to be a lot more. You used to have to kind of be strategic. You used to have to think a lot more. You used to have to be more of a thinker when it came to games. And I enjoy games that really allow you to play around with their mechanics and see what you can do from what you can do. See what works in a situation from what doesn't work. I love games that are resilient. And a lot of new games don't really do that. A lot of new games, if you notice, they tend to really, really restrict the player on what they can do with the game's mechanics. You can really, a lot of times with modern games, you can really only play games one way. They really just want you to play the game one way, and there's not a lot of variety in the gameplay. There's not a lot of cool, you know, different things you can do with the game that challenges the player, and you know, the player kind of has to put things together, you know, to get past a certain challenge. You don't really got to do that now. Everything is just so easy and spoon fed to you that it's like you don't really have to use your brain anymore. And in most of these games, you got to use your brain. So I think that's another thing that kind of contributes to modern games being mediocre or kind of just being bad. You know, it's something they do to garner a bigger audience, which since gaming went so big and so mainstream, is something they had to just do, is make these games designed to where somebody who's never played video games, as we see today with modern games, somebody who's never played video games can enjoy. You know, and just modern games have way too many fucking cutscenes, man. Every fucking damn AAA game I play is just a cutscene fest, a cutscene fiesta. You know, I can appreciate a game nowadays that just lets me play it without literally choking me to death with a fucking narrative in the story. Sometimes I just want to sit down and play a game and just enjoy my experience. You know, I've been thinking about getting into some other genres like strategy games and, you know, other games that I haven't played before. I just want to play a game where I don't have to be bothered with a story all the time. I just have pure gameplay. And a lot of these AAA mainstream games, they feel like you're just gonna get bored and uninterested if a cutscene doesn't show in the next minute or two. The game is just gonna be a 7 out of 10 if there's not some type of fucking cutscene. And to me, I don't give a shit about cutscenes. You know, I don't care about cutscenes. Give me gameplay that, you know, makes the story interesting. You know what I'm saying? Makes the story worth caring about. I don't give a shit about if, you know what I'm saying, a story is narratively strong. If I care about the gameplay is good, I'm more than likely going to also be interested in the story as well, because I'm interested in what's going on in the game. You understand what I'm saying? And too many games nowadays that come out, and that's a problem. Too many games nowadays that come out rely way too much on cinematics and cutscenes, and that is a problem. You know, that is another issue I have with modern gaming. So all in all, not to make such a doom and gloom situation out of this, I just want to say that there's a lot of fantastic modern games out there, and some of my favorites: Sekiro, Yakuza Like a Dragon, Doom Eternal, the Judgment game, basically anything from Ryuga Gotoku Studios. You know what I'm saying? The Resident Evil, I guess, remakes, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3 is pretty decent, but Resident Evil 2 in particular. There's a lot of great games out there. The Crash 4 is really good too. There's a lot of great modern games out there that I think people just need to branch out and try out different things. Try out different genres. Maybe try out some JRPGs. Maybe try out some survival horror games. Maybe try out some indies. You know, try out some visual novels. Try out some niche Japanese games. And you never know, you might just get something you enjoy so much that it changes your perspective on gaming. You know, so I think maybe I'm gonna start to do more reviews so you guys kind of, you know, can see some different games which you normally see. Maybe I can get you into some you know, different titles you're not used to seeing, so that maybe, you know, you could branch out. And that's what happened to me back in the PlayStation Vita when I was playing Persona 4 and games like that. That really opened my mind to playing different kinds of things, you know. And I feel like maybe a lot of gamers these days are not that open-minded, so they kind of stick to the same realm of games. They don't branch out and play different things, and maybe that's where the anger and the resentment towards modern gaming comes. Is games that we're really excited for end up being kind of flops. So, you know, anyway guys, Strategist 418, hope you enjoyed my little quick commentary here. Quick commentary, right? Yeah, right. Not for a Strategist video. But I hope you guys enjoyed my little quick commentary, and yeah, man, that's how I feel. You know, people need to branch out, try out different things. Modern gaming is not a total shit show, but it is kind of a shit show in certain areas. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Strategist 418, and I'm out.